Li Auto just removed a row of seats from its best-selling SUV, and they're calling it an upgrade. Li Auto built its entire brand on one idea: big families, long roads, no charging anxiety. The L8 was a six-seater REV that practically invented the premium family SUV category in China. So when I heard they were stripping out the six-seat layout entirely and relaunching it as a five-seat flagship, my first reaction was, that's either genius or a disaster. And honestly, I'm still not completely sure which one it is. What I do know is that this isn't a facelift. The sources I've been going through describe this as a generational upgrade, better range, a completely rethought interior, and a repositioning that puts the L8 at the very top of Li Auto's lineup. That's a big statement for a car that used to sit below the L9. I'd argue this is the most consequential product decision Li Auto has made since they launched the L series. They're essentially telling six-seat buyers to go look at the L7 or L9, while the L8 chases a different, more premium customer. Whether that customer exists in large enough numbers is the real question. So what does dropping that third row actually buy you? The answer, according to every hands-on video I've watched, is a rear cabin that feels genuinely closer to a business-class aircraft seat than anything you'd find in a German SUV at this price point. All four passenger seats, not just the rears, get the zero-gravity recline treatment. The rear seats in particular are described as a serious step up, wider, deeper recline, with legroom that a BMW X5 rear passenger would look at and quietly resent. I think this is smart targeting. Li Auto is going after the Chinese executive buyer who gets chauffeured, not the dad doing school runs. That's a completely different use case, and the old L8 was trying to serve both at once, which meant it served neither perfectly. On the powertrain side, the range upgrade is the other headline. The extended range hybrid system gets a meaningful bump. I'm seeing references to a substantial improvement in pure electric range and overall crest figures, though I want to be honest. I don't have the final certified numbers in front of me, so I'm not going to throw out a specific figure and get it wrong. What I can say is that reviewers are calling it a genuine leap, not a marketing rounding error. That matters because range anxiety, even on an EREV, is still a real objection in this segment. Now let's talk about who Li Auto is actually fighting here, because this is where it gets interesting. The Aito M9 is the obvious rival, Huawei's Halo SUV, loaded with tech, priced in a similar bracket, and already a genuine prestige symbol in China. I predicted last year that the M9 would struggle to hold its position once more competition arrived. I was wrong about the timeline. That car has been remarkably sticky with buyers. The Zeekr 9X is a different kind of threat. It's a pure EV, which means it wins on refinement and running costs, and it has a genuinely impressive interior for the money. I think Li Auto's REV powertrain is still the smarter choice for buyers outside major cities where charging infrastructure is patchy, but in Beijing or Shanghai, the Zeekr 9X makes a compelling case. What the new L8 has that neither rival can easily match is the combination of rear-seat luxury and long-distance capability in one package. A Tesla Model X gives you the space and the tech, but it costs significantly more in China, and the interior quality simply isn't in the same conversation anymore. Li Auto knows that. This new L8 is designed to be the answer when someone asks, what's the most comfortable way to cover 800 kilometers with a colleague in the back? Here's where I land on this. The new L8 is a better car than the one it replaces. I don't think that's seriously debatable. The range is up, the rear experience is genuinely premium, and the design refresh gives it a presence that the old model was starting to lose against newer rivals. But I think Li Auto is taking on real risk by abandoning the six-seat layout entirely. That configuration was a core reason why buyers chose the L8 over a Land Cruiser or an Audi Q7. Families who need occasional seven-seat capacity now have to step up to the L9 or step down to the L7, and neither might be exactly right. There's a gap in the lineup that didn't exist before. If I were buying in this segment today, I'd take the new L8 seriously, probably more seriously than the Aito M9 if I regularly drive long distances. But if I had kids and needed flexible seating, I'd be frustrated that Li Auto made this choice for me. That tension is going to show up in the sales numbers over the next 2 quarters, and I'll be watching closely. Drop a comment below. Would you trade a row of seats for a genuinely first-class rear experience? I want to know if I'm reading this wrong. If you think Li Auto got this right, or badly wrong, tell me in the comments. And if you want more deep dives on Chinese EVs that Western media isn't covering properly, subscribe. I do this every week.